Hey, what's going on, you guys? Happy Saturday. Silver Surfer coming your way here, another video. I just wanted to go over a historical kind of factor here with another coin I got picked up, which is kind of a neat set here, and I'll get to that here shortly. But the coin engraver and designer is Christian Gorbschet, and I don't know if I pronounced that exactly correct. It is a German last name, but he was the third engraver for the United States Mint, and produced a number of different well-known coins. The most famous of them all is the Seed of Liberty series here, with his dollars and different denominations and stuff like that. But a lot of people didn't probably realize also that he created different things such as, influenced such designs as the half cent. Some of these earlier half and large cents were also the coronet designs were his too, so it's kind of a neat, interesting historical factor. Very, very beautiful coins, very, very beautiful design, the Seed of Liberty design. As we scroll down here, you can see that he also created, or has influenced the 2.5 gold coronet. So just some neat, interesting history here of this pretty famous engraver. And you're probably asking yourself, well, what the heck does that have to do with today's video? And today's video is all about these guys right here, the Seeded Liberty designs. So I just wanted to show you, pulled out a few of them from my collection that I have, and wanted to just kind of talk about it. So the 5 that you see in flips right here, all these were inherited. These are all passed down from my grandpa to my dad and to me. And I wanted to pull out them to show you guys, specifically because I needed one more coin I was intending to get to create a denomination set of the Seed of Liberty dollars. So it's pretty neat. It's the longest running design or the largest running design on any of the different coins, denomination wise. As you can see, it was 6 in total. And we'll just give you a quick little scan here. First one is a half-dime, neat coin. This is an 1854 with arrows. I'll show you the back. The next one here is an 1853 Seeded Liberty dime. Again with the same design. I'm trying to get the light to not reflect here so much, and these are not all, high-grade coins or anything of that nature. But again, these are all inherited coins that I have received, and so I felt it necessary to create kind of a neat set, make a denomination set, since it is the most well-known of all the different longest or largest running design. So this is an interesting piece here. These are minted for a very short time. There wasn't a lot of take to the 20-cent piece, as people thought, well, heck, why? It's too similar to the quarter in size, and a lot of people were actually confusing it with that during the time of mintage. And also it was the fact that they were saying, well, why don't we just use 2 dimes here to get the same amount of money? So it wasn't a big popular coin, and thus they got rid of it here after only a short time of minting it. Personally, I think they're really neat piece of history. If you don't have a 20-cent piece, I would say go pick one up. The 1875S is the cheapest of the mints that minted it in that year. And this coin's probably $100 or so, but really, really cool coin and really, really cool history to it. Moving on, this is the 1854 with arrows Seeded Liberty quarter. I would probably grade this in maybe a fine, probably very good actually. Yeah, there's not much Liberty, only a few letters there, as you can see, and that's one of the big determining factors when grading these things. So, but again, another inherited coin. Yeah, there you go, VG. And just an all-around, another beautiful design, another beautiful obverse and reverse. The cool thing about these is a lot of these were minted this is the Civil War era. Obviously 1861 was the kickoff of it, ended in 1865, but nonetheless, these seeded coins were what was being produced during their very bloody war. Moving on, this is a $50 in 1877. There are a number of different varieties to these, with arrows, without arrows, with motto, without motto. This one here is without arrows. And with motto up in that, above the eagle there, that banner. Neat coin. And finally, to complete this set, this is the new pickup here that I really wanted. Been waiting to get one of these for a long time, and there it is, guys. I got the 1870 graded XF45, which I agree with that. Pretty much full Liberty written on the shield there. Difficult to show you. Trying to get it here focused. There you go. So really excited about this. At first glance, I thought it might have been cleaned, but I don't think it has. I think it's just circulated, and thus the different nick and scratch marks are not in like a parallel design kind of thing like you would expect when someone scrubs the coins down. So I don't think this thing was cleaned. A lot of these were cleaned, and they're very scarce and difficult to find problem-free during this year, which we're going to kind of talk about here in a little bit. But this was the second half of the design with the "In God We Trust" banner above the eagle. This was added, I forget the date, I'd have to look, but the ones before it did not have that banner above the eagle there. Kind of an interesting story too, you can take a look and read about sometime. But there it is, guys, my first seeded Liberty dollar, and I'm very excited about it. Okay, so 1870, let's talk a little bit about this, and I'm gonna kind of steal John over at Garfield Heights Coin Club, his trifecta, as well as talk about that numismatic sweet spot about this coin here, okay? So why did I go with the 1870? Well, my budget allowed me to go with the 1870, that's first and foremost, but I wanted to get a coin, I wanted to get one of these in a relative good grade that had some scarcity to it as well. So let's take a look up here with the 1870. Let's do a little research with me. So we're going to come up here and click, and we'll use a PCGS guide. So going back, right, let's talk about first the trifecta. Do we have the trifecta on this? So condition, rarity, eye appeal. Not much eye appeal. Again, these coins were difficult to obtain in high grades with luster slash a tone on it, so you're going to pay the penny for that if you end up getting one of them. But the point is, so I don't necessarily think it fits the eye appeal per that measure, but I will say it's problem free, and that in and of itself, I conclude that is eye appeal, because again, a lot of these coins back in the day were scrubbed, cleaned, holed, you name it, and they were treated that way, and so to find these problem-free is a difficult task. So I conclude with that as, yeah, I think it does meet the eye appeal because it's a problem-free coin. Condition, XF, a more easy to find of this year. XFAUs are most widely kind of ones that survived. But nonetheless, it is a higher grade condition, I should say, for a coin this old. So I think it meets that as well in the trifecta. And lastly, rarity. So is this one of the ones that was issued during the Civil War? No, those mintages were extremely low, extremely expensive. Was this one of the early issue ones? No. But when you talk about ones that I can afford for my budget, relative rarity, and I'll show you kind of an interesting feature of the 1870, yes. So let's go back to this. Here it is on PCGS CoinFacts. We'll scroll down. As you guys can see, the mintage of it was 415,000 of them, okay? So keep that in mind, 415,000. And while we're scrolling down, we'll take a look at mine. Price guide, PCGS has it at 650. So again, going back to that numismatic sweet spot, right? To where you can get a coin that is in a decent grade, the most you're willing to pay before it jumps a significant amount. So you can see, only $50 to 40, another $50 to 35. So I would rather pay the extra $50 and get it up to the 45. But look what happens when you go up to the about uncirculated. It's $155, triple the amount from this one before and that one before as well. So this is my numismatic sweet spot, that 650-ish, around there. I did not pay anywhere near that on this coin. After eBay bucks and what the seller agreed to, it became a lot cheaper. Lower 400s, I'll tell you that much. So I felt that I got a good deal. As you can see, some of these auctions here, Heritage, 480. This one's pretty expensive at 660. I might add some tone or something, a little bonus, 500. So I definitely paid under all of this. This one was cheaper than mine, but the rest of them I paid pretty well around the same price. So I'm very excited about that. And you can see as you scroll over and you get to the higher grade AUs, look how much it goes up. More than about $1,000 from my grade. So this to me is my numismatic sweet spot. And if you haven't seen John's video on that, and I think Big Stack McGee also did one recently with this trade dollar, go visit those and take a look, because it's a way that you should be looking to purchase your coins, your saver coins, all right? And then lastly, what I wanted to talk about, remember I was mentioning scarcity / rarity on that trifecta, okay? So take a look at this real quick. All grades, okay, all grades. The rarity, estimated rarity is a 4.5, so it goes from 1 to 10, 10 being the most rare, 1 being the least rare. And look at that, all grades is a 4.5. Check out what happens when you get to a mint state, and even above that, at a high mint state, it gets almost a perfect 10. That number is calculated from the amount of estimated survival. So this is what I was mentioning. Remember that 413,000 mintage of these coins? Well, take a look at this. 2,500. Some sources I've actually read even say less than that, about 1,800 to 2,000 I've read. But so this is a little bit higher, but 2,500 coins they think are remaining of these 1870 seed and Liberty dollars. So that to me is amazing. That right there definitely meets that rarity factor on that trifecta. And you would say, well, yeah, it's still a large amount, but it's really not, considering how many were minted and how many have survived. And I'll give you another example just to put this a little bit more into perspective about this rarity. So look at this 4.5 of all grades, and then we'll scroll up to the top here and we'll click on another very well-known coin, right? So look at this comparison, 09 SVDB, right? The most known, probably numismatic coin there is out there. Very, very rare, very, very highly desired. And the most, probably one of the key date kings of all time, right? But what happens when we scroll down and take a look at its rarity factor? Look at that. All grades, barely a 3.8, okay? Look at even a 65 or better, you still got 4.4 the rarity as opposed to 4.5 for my Seed and Liberty 1870. And you would say, well, man, why is that key date? And in a sense, it's not that rare to be able to find it, especially in higher grades, as you can see here. So again, that's why I think the 1870 Seed and Liberty dollar just totally blows out of the park the rarity factor. So a key date, you got a key date coin at a very, very high grade, and it's still not even considered to be as rare scarcity wise as opposed to that Liberty seeded dollar. So I think I did well on this coin. I don't know, you guys tell me what you think and let me know, but I think I did pretty darn well. And the reason, I'll leave you with one last little tidbit, the reason there's so little of these left is from a number of different things. One, during this time when these coins were actually minted, the silver content was worth more than the actual denomination of the $1. So they were melted down. They were melted down for bars and for trade in the Orient. Number two, they were traded in the Orient a lot, just like the trade dollar. These were shipped over to India and Asia and stuff, and actually most likely melted down for their price of silver over there. And then number three, in 1918, you can read up again on the Pittman Act, when 270 million silver dollars were melted, and there was a large value of those that were included with that, as well as Morgan dollars and everything else. So that's why there are barely 25 to 2,000 of them left. So I hope you guys learned something from this. Tell me what you think about my pickup, if you guys like it or not. And if you haven't